I would have loved child labor.
The children genuinely do yearn for the mines.
I yearned for the mines so hard. Hello, good morning, BBs.
Oh, good morning, BBs. It's too early.
It sure is.
Welcome to the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan.
And boy, do we have a show for you today. All the computers are down.
Yeah, the whole world is down.
And we're also going to talk about maybe a new Chibi Robo and a controller with an ass on it.
Yeah, you know.
The huge.
The huge.
The huge.
We're gonna get into a little bit of why a lot of you probably don't have to work today in the US, mostly. Everywhere. Depending on where the systems are in place.
Over 500 of the world's Fortune 1000 companies.
Here's the thing. I'm sorry for anybody who it is impacting their workday and making your life hard. Hilarious for Fortune 1000 companies. I love when bad things happen to Fortune 1000 companies.
Yeah, here's the thing. We're sorry if it negatively affected you
As a worker.
but we do love when corporations Ultron themselves.
Yeah.
Like when a corporation's just Ultrons itself into the ground. That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess do we want to talk about this? I mean, first we should say hello to Alex, whose computer is always working perfectly.
Good morning, Alex.
Hello, good morning. My computer, I'm experiencing some kind of, just don't look behind you and you'll be fine.
You know what?
Oh.
It's fine. Yours is just a little haunted, and we knew that.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
We
That's a
knew that
perk.
your chair was just a little haunted.
And look at that. They could hear you this morning.
I love it. I'm back. I missed you last week when my voice was silent, but now I'm here.
It takes.
Were you
the
silent?
It takes the powers of all the world's computers, diverted into Alex's.
Yes, it's a lot of energy into this mic right here.
Were you
right.
silent or were you silenced?
I was silenced.
And that's on the computer, I guess.
That's on Ultron.
Oh no, Jafrika said I tried submitting for PTO last night before bed and it was broken. I was so confused.
Yeah, a lot of people. Here's the thing. A lot of people are just minorly inconvenienced by this stuff. Let's go into exactly what's happening, I guess. There's a company called Cloudstrike. Cloudstrike is one of the leading cybersecurity companies in the world. And their software is the anti-attack software that many companies have on their computers. This is who the world basically counts on, is Cloudstrike.
Well.
And Cloudstrike pushed an update yesterday morning, I believe, or late, the evening before.
Mm-hmm.
Just a simple little security update. Like you do. That unfortunately caused all Windows machines to boot into a blue screen of death.
Uh-oh.
Now, there is a fix.
Yeah.
The fix does require, because it's the blue screen of death, the fix does require somebody to physically be at the computer to boot into safe mode and remove files manually.
Yeah.
Now,
at every computer.
Well, see, that's the thing, is like you can get to a lot of computers, but you can't get to all the computers.
Sure.
So many things are in the cloud. The problem with the cloud is that it's not anywhere.
Right.
You can't, there's no
and
button.
Yet everywhere.
Yeah. Like you can turn it off and turn it on again.
Yeah.
But you're not sitting there.
No. And so many people are remoting in for their jobs, or honestly, just systems that your job uses. Even if it doesn't impact directly the computer you do your work on, it might be something where it's like, oh, our organizational software isn't working because that's powered on servers that aren't working, or like any of these tools that I need to do my job aren't working.
This is hitting everything extremely hard. We are talking about airlines have been down, have been unable to do. Listen, I don't know if you've ever been to an airport, but airline computers already don't do anything.
No.
Airline computers already don't do anything. They're doing this for 18 minutes to be like, well, let me see what's going on with your flight.
Yeah.
And you're like,
it's just to check if it's delayed?
It's just as, I just want to know if the gate changed. Yeah.
I just want to know if the thing is coming to pick me up. Is the plane coming?
Yeah. Hold on one second. Let me check. They apparently, I've spoken to somebody who works for an airline about this, and they're like, the software that we use is the oldest, strangest, weirdest software, and they can't update it because it's like everything runs on it. But the computers still get updated themselves. And then the software just runs in a container, in a container, in a container, in a container in the computer. It's a nightmare. So when they say that it's broken, that shit is broken.
And airlines are, I feel like, to some extent, intentionally like outdated in these computers. A part of it is I'm sure it's really expensive to overhaul, but I'm noticing things going backwards when I fly lately. I recently bought
not the plane. They're not made to do that.
We all just put our hands up and said, including the pilot.
Yeah, they're not supposed to go that way.
I bought a flight recently when we went to San Francisco, and I didn't pay for like an upgrade on the flight. Okay, that's normal. I just got a normal flight, right? As opposed to, hey, do you want more flight? Okay. And it meant I couldn't check in online. I had to check in at the airport computer.
Yeah.
That's now relegated to upgraded flights. That didn't used to be. You could check in on your little app. We have the technology. But now that's relegated to if you bought a fancy seat.
A reminder that all of this started because airlines needed to make a little extra money after literally 9/11. And they were told they could temporarily charge you to check your bags in order to make up for 9/11. And then they just started nickel and diming everything.
Everything.
And I feel like they've made that money back.
I think they've probably made it back now.
I feel like
23 years later, they're probably set.
They're probably okay. I feel like their fiscal year is fine. They made it. But unfortunately, not only airlines, but we're talking about banks. We're talking about TV broadcasters. We're talking about, I saw somebody that was taking a video from like a sporting event. They were sportsing out there, Saige. And the big jumbo screen at the stadium blue screened.
That's so funny.
And then went into a Windows XP boot.
Oh, that's funny. I feel like this is what people thought the Y2K bug was going to be. We finally got the Y2K bug, dude.
Yeah. These companies, they Y2K'd themselves. They Fight Clubbed themselves.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
I think it's great. Listen, I think it's great. Once again, I'm so sorry. I know that there's a portion of of the BBs that are watching whose jobs are affected by this. And I know there's a portion of them whose jobs are affected by this in the way that they're the people that are supposed to fix it.
Right.
That sucks.
Yeah. If you work in IT, rip. So sorry. That sucks today.
As somebody who used to work in IT, the thing that sucks, IT was the first remote job. It truly was.
Yeah.
IT was just like, yeah, no, I'll fix it from here. It's cool. I don't even need to come in.
Yeah.
And then those days that you had to come in, you were just like, motherfucker, I gotta actually go physically into the office and fucking what is
right.
And I feel like people were always, man, why is the IT guy always grumpy? But now that we all work from home, everyone understands why the IT guy is grumpy.
Because if you usually got to work from home, then you get called into the office to fix something someone else broke. Oh, yeah, fair.
So there you go. So this is a worldwide thing. It started happening first in Australia because it's tomorrow over there.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
You guys got it earlier. It just feels like it should all hit at once.
Yeah, it really does.
And it did, I'm sure, but your workday started first.
Yeah.
So it feels like it happened there first and then it slowly traveled over with the sun.
Yeah, it just it just kind of happened over time. And Australian banks, airlines, and TV broadcasters first raised the alarms as thousands of machines started to go offline. Then businesses based in Europe. Sky News just couldn't broadcast this morning.
Damn.
Sky News just couldn't broadcast morning bulletins. Now, Cloudstrike is a company that is worth $83 billion.
Not for long. Not no more.
Oh, no?
No.
What's going on with Cloudstrike?
I mean, of course they're gonna what? They're not gonna be worth as much money after they ruined all the world's computers.
Let me tell you something, Saige. If you're an evil villain and you ruin all the world's computers, you gots to go to jail. If you're a big company doing your best and you ruin the world's computers,
once the banks are back online, you could have some money.
You can have some money to fix it.
Yeah. Their stock price is naturally plummeting. I'm not sure how, considering the stock market's probably offline.
Yeah, they probably, the stock market's just, it's gone back to like those 80s, the 80s footage of the guys with the paper slips running around going, buy 10,000 shares.
A bunch of things, people at windows, people are actually there on Wall Street.
All the dudes with the weird jackets that let you know that you can give your paper slips to me and I'll give them to someone else.
Yeah, they're all running around Wall Street being like, wait, we have to go back to the paper slips.
Hey, did it ever occur to you how fucking weird the paper slips were? And that the world ran on paper slips running around until like a bell sounded and then everybody had to promise not to move any paper slips around after the bell sounded.
No, because I didn't know about the stock market until like 10 years ago.
It's wild.
I'm 28.
Yeah, no, but like, you know about like the Civil War, right?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, okay, that's what I mean. Like you have knowledge of things.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know how the stock market works.
Oh, papers.
Yeah.
It was people running around with papers in their hands. And they'd be like, I have papers for this company and I'm willing to trade them for either dollars or papers from that company. And a guy in a special jacket would take their papers and run over and promise to bring the same amount of papers back.
Okay.
Times $1 billion for every company. And that's how it ran.
Frogs Gone said, we had to play a whole stock market game in elementary school. What do you mean? First of all, I didn't go to school. So checkmate.
Never has, never will.
So checkmate, that's true. Second of all, I did just watch a bunch of videos on it after I became obsessed with the like Florida weird kids theme park where they all pretended to be adults.
Yeah.
Then I fell down a weird rabbit hole of all of the things that like were programs people had specifically in Florida.
Yeah,
they ran kids through adult fictional scenarios of capitalism.
Yeah, I was never able to go to Safetyville or any of those other places, and I really wish I had.
God.
The child-sized cities where children ran little experiments. Actually, you know what's funny is friend of the show Travis McElroy and his brothers when they had their hit CISO show based on their podcast. My brother and me. Some people know it as a podcast, but most people know it as a CISO show.
Okay.
When they had their CISO show, one of the episodes, they went to one of those little like child-sized cities.
Yeah.
And like drove around in little child-sized cars and stuff.
Oh, they don't exist anymore. I wish that they did. And I'm too old to go to one.
No.
I would steal a child so I could like escort them into one of these kid cities.
At some point, we decided that we can't Lord of the Flies children voluntarily.
Do you know about these, Alex? Did you see this? Defunct Land did a fantastic video on it. It's an hour and 13 minutes long.
I have seen the My Brother and Me show, so that's about all I have.
You've seen the hit CISO show, My Brother and Me, right?
CISO?
Actually, it's like really hysterical. There's a lot of funny screenshots from it on the internet.
CISO is what turned into Peacock.
Show my screen.
I'm just saying words.
Yeah.
CISO is what turned into Peacock.
Yeah, and the Jin Jan turned into the little blim blam.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, sure thing. Okay, this is from the Defunct Land. Well, that's actually, I believe, from Legends of the Hidden Temple. But this is from...
I was on that.
I do know that about you.
Yeah.
Then there's like different ones of kids in schools running stock markets, but like Wanna Do City?
Yeah.
It was just a place where kids could be like firefighters, crime scene investigators. They had every kind of job.
They had kids that would go to jail.
They had kid cops to take kids to kid jail.
Yeah. And like I'm saying, we just decided at some point we can't Lord of the Flies children voluntarily.
I'm so bummed I didn't get Lord of the Flies.
We cannot do that.
Can I be so real with you? Can I be so unfortunately honest with you as somebody who did turn out to be a communist?
Yeah.
I would have loved it.
Oh, are you kidding?
Not Lord of the Flies. I would have loved a Kid City.
No. I was so jealous because they were things. I was in Florida. I was so jealous that I never got to do one.
I want it so bad. Child me would have been obsessed with going to work. Child me would have loved it.
I've told you before that when I was 8 years old, I asked for a briefcase.
Yeah.
I had to have a briefcase.
Now, I was a child actor, so I was going to work, but child me would have been obsessed with going to like
regular work.
Are you joking? When they were like, oh yeah, you can work in like a lab. Oh my God.
No.
I would have loved child labor.
The children genuinely do yearn for the mines.
I yearned for the mines so hard. I can't believe that other kids were getting kid cities where they got to go and earn fictional money by being fictional firefighters.
The children yearning for the mines is not a bit, and that's why we have to make laws to protect them.
Yeah.
Because kids would love to just walk into the mines.
Dude, do you have any idea how much kids just love like the idea of going to work?
Oh, I want black lung just like my father, says the kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why you got to stop it. That's why we had to stop it.
You can be a forensic crime scene analyst in a kid city. Are you joking? Solve kid murders?
Hey.
I want to do that
What
now.
if there was a real kid murder and the real kids had to solve it?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd love to watch that.
I'd love to watch that.
I'd love to watch that.
God.
There was a Korean show. It was either a Japanese or Korean show about a bunch of police officers that were hit by a special gas from a villain that turned them all into children. And they all had to solve.
There's an episode of Buffy about that too.
And they all had to solve crimes. The entire series was them just acting like adults, like grizzled detectives, smoking and drinking and solving crimes. And I was like, damn, this is cool. This is cool. Kids doing adult things is actually cool.
Dude, I thought you were going to talk about the Japanese show about little kids that they like show like getting on the train and going to get groceries by themselves that are so cute.
No, Old Enough is adorable.
So adorable. I didn't think it was going to be cute. I thought it was going to be sad and it was so cute. People asked if you watched, what was it, Kid Nation or something like that? That was different. That was very Lord of the Flies.
Yeah.
That was like, we put you here and you fend for yourself. You know what I want?
What?
I want a kid city for adults. And I know what you're thinking. That's a regular city.
No, it's not. It's totally different.
It's totally different, right? Okay, thank you.
No, a kid city for adults is totally different.
A lot of people wouldn't get it.
Because
a lot of people wouldn't get it.
I get to go to Kid City and like, I'm running the grocery store at Kid City. But guess what? Guess what? There's no stress. There's no stakes.
Right.
I'm running it the best I can.
Exactly.
I'm LARPing Richard Scarry's Busy Town.
Right.
And then at the end of the day, I go home and no one's affected.
Right. They give me money that I get to cash in for like Chuck E. Cheese prices.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I get to go run the bank today. And I think that's why people go to Burning Man.
Yes.
Is to live in an adult kid city. But it doesn't quite do it for me.
Burning Man is wealthy people understanding that they want to play communism.
Yeah. It's wealthy people LARPing communism.
Yeah, but they want, at the end of the week, they're like, wow, this really is a beautiful way to live.
Yeah.
But I do still want to have a better house and car than other people.
Yes. So back to being rich.
So back to being rich for me.
Yeah. I would like an adult kid city. I would really like an adult kid city where you go in and you choose your little job for the day and all the buildings are basically like little facades and somebody's like, do you want to learn how to be a surgeon today?
Yes.
We have a freaky little cadaver because they had kids learning to be surgeons. They had like cadavers. They weren't real bodies, but they had like freaky fiction. And they said that some of them were so intense.
They were
that
real.
Kids were throwing up. They had kids absolutely vomiting down. Of how realistic the surgery practices were.
I'll absolutely do it.
I want to go to Kid City so bad, and I don't want to hang out with children. I want an adult day in Kid City.
It's an adult day. And because Kid City is what we were promised. We were promised Richard Scarry's Busy Town. We were promised that like, well, everybody's nice and everybody's doing their best and everybody has enough and everybody's happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, the person who runs the grocery store and the friendly police officer and the friendly fireman, all the same, all the same status.
Yeah.
All the same amount of nice. You can count on them all equally.
Right. So really what I want is communism.
Yeah, usually what you want is communism. I've found that with you.
But in the interim, you know, some people say that the step between capitalism and communism is socialism. I say the step in between is adult kid cities.
That's the real thing.
That's the next step.
That's
because we're a little too far from socialism still. I'm going to need one in the middle and I'm going to need an adult kid city. I'll pay to go. I'd pay Universal Studio prices.
Sure.
Hell, you know what? I'm going to say it, and this is not well of me. I might pay Disney prices.
To go work in a kid city?
Yeah, for a full day in a kid city.
Well,
that sounds so fun, dude. I just want to. I remember be the firefighter.
Yeah, I remember years ago when LARPing first became like a thing on the internet, and people were fireball, magic missile, when like those videos were going around, and I was just like, hey, just let the people do it. Yeah, just let the people do it. I remember reading about the first time I ever heard about like a LARPing trip camp or whatever, where you go to like during the fall or the winter to a summer camp that's closed for the season. And it's a bunch of adults that like turned it into a LARPing village. And I was just like, let them do it. Let me go. Yeah. Whatever, like let people just pretend for a week.
Hear me out.
To do whatever they want.
Stay. Keep going. Cult. Just join a commune.
Just join a commune.
What if we just joined a commune instead? You know, when I watched that video and they were like, oh yeah, the big one was in Florida, I was so mad for you because I knew that if you had gone, I'd know.
Yeah.
I knew there was no way that Anthony had been.
If I had gone to a weird dystopian little town,
you'd talk about it all the time.
It would be a formative memory.
It would be a opening conversation point for you.
Because I probably would have gone with my little briefcase and I would have wanted to either be mayor or honestly, police chief. Yeah. That's what I would have wanted to be.
Adorable little Anthony was unfortunately a total cop.
I didn't know any better.
I know.
Who knew any better?
Yeah. It's okay. I probably would have been some form of cop too, in that I probably would have taken the crime scene investigator. I probably would have taken the like forensic analyst of the crime scenes, because that would have been... I would have thought that was cool. I would have
walked, or a traveling salesman. For some reason, young Anthony thought traveling salesman was like a very cool and interesting job.
Did you think you were like doing actual traveling? Did you think you actually would get to travel? Traveling salesmen don't really go very far.
No, but like a door-to-door salesman.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, maybe just because of Bugs Bunny cartoons or something.
Sure, yeah.
I was just like, oh, a door-to-door salesman with a briefcase, and I would open up my briefcase.
They were in so many shows and movies.
Yeah, because I think I've told you before
put an uncool job in that many shows and movies.
That I would open up my briefcase, and my briefcase had sparkly stickers and streamers and stuff in it.
Hell yeah.
And I would sell candy and comic books out of my briefcase to other children.
Of course you did.
And I would open it up and I would be like, here's what I have for sale today.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Horribly,
yeah, of course.
Incredibly communist or incredibly capitalist.
Yeah, incredibly capitalist.
Incredibly capitalist.
Everybody, I would love to know, what job would you want in Kid City? And you can actually look up what existed in these specifically. But also just like, you know,
also
if
like
there was a fictional Kid City.
Yeah.
Like
if you were Lowly Worm.
Think of like what you as a child, what job you would have wanted to have.
Yeah. If you were Lowly Worm or whatever the name of that cat is from Busy Town.
Yeah.
I just know Lowly Worm and his Applemobile. But whatever job you could have from Richard Scarry's Busy Town is basically what you could have. You could be an air traffic controller if you wanted to.
Yeah. I see librarian, candy maker, gardener. Yeah.
I want to be a time machine inventor. Yeah, fuck it. Yeah. Can I be a paleontologist in Kid City?
100%.
If the Kid City is decently run, somewhere in Kid City, fake dinosaur bones are buried.
There is. Yeah. There was 100%. In Wanna-Do City, there was like a whole, there was like mines, dude.
Beautiful.
There was like mines.
You could go to the mines.
Legit yearning for the mines.
I love it.
I would have been one of those kids, though, that was like, how many jobs can I try in a day? How can I speed run doing as many of these jobs as possible? Like, mom's got me here at 9, picking me up at 6. My mother never dropped me off anywhere, so this is a fun fiction.
Yeah.
How many of these jobs can I do? Can I master?
Mom's dropped me off at 9, is hiding behind that bush 10 feet away until 6.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Mom's yelling at me for picking the wrong job. But... maybe a baker. Oh yeah, they had these things. Isn't that wild?
You could go to a Kid City and try it out.
I'd have wanted to commit a crime and go to kid jail.
Dude, honestly,
I would have absolutely wanted to go to kid prison.
Also sounded cool to me.
Yeah,
like going to kid prison and just being like, "You let me out of here."
Yeah,
this is a sham.
Yeah,
I was framed.
They would start like these fake fires and they would load kids up. They had a little fire truck.
Yep.
They would load kids up on the fire truck and they would have like real giant fire hoses that actually shot water for them to use.
Yeah. Dude, it would have lights and smoke, cool. The fires.
It's so cool.
And everybody drove around in little pedal cars and you had to like obey traffic and you could be a crossing guard or a traffic cop. And so there was like a little kid in a little sash with like a little stop sign.
I know it is against everything in my like moral and political aligning to think that is the coolest thing ever. Well, the most fun thing you could possibly do.
And the thing that's interesting, like this is the other thing about Kid City. The firefighters get up in the morning and the fire is always in the same place.
Yeah.
And nobody lives there.
Yeah.
And the fire always gets put out.
Yeah.
That's Kid City, baby.
That's Kid City, baby.
Anyway, all of the computers are broken and nobody can do any real work.
Anthony, can I show you an image?
You can absolutely show me an image.
Show us an image.
That's not real. That's fake, but I love it. That's fake, but I love it. I wish it was real. I wish it was real, but that's fake. The best one of those I've ever seen is the Marvel Capcom 2 character select, the one that's like on a sphere anyway.
Yeah.
And somebody put it on there and was like, Capcom, just fucking do it. Capcom, let's go.
What's up? Somebody in chat said the word licorice, and I may or may not be dyslexic. We haven't figured it out yet, but I read it as divorce, and I thought somebody was talking still. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. And I know it's not even the same letters. I
Sweetheart.
get it. Yeah. But some of the shapes were kind of similar. Tall L.
My dearest friend.
Yeah. The top of it, lowercase d. Anyways, I thought somebody was saying that's what they'd want to be in a Kid City was divorced. Or like a divorce attorney.
Oh my gosh, a bitter little divorced kid pretending to be bitter. She got everything.
I want to be a wealthy divorcee in Kid City.
I only get to see my kids every Saturday.
I want to roll around.
And the kids are just dolls, action figures, or guinea pigs.
Guinea pigs.
The kids are guinea pigs.
I picture them like the kids that you get in the Game of Life that you stick in the little car. They're just like little pegs that you have to like cart around to go and do a visitation.
Got a little.
What have I got on me?
Got it.
That you have to cart around to do visitation with like their, your ex-spouse.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's it, everybody. I thought somebody said they'd want to be divorced.
Speaking of divorce, I don't have anything for that. I just wanted to say it.
Sorry.
Hey, it's a very special day for Saige's, or yesterday was a very special day for Saige's. Anthony's as well, but like I said, I'm willing to always take second place in this race.
My birthday.
It is Beetlejuice trailer day, or it was.
It was Beetlejuice trailer day. Now, we've had a teaser, a longer teaser, and now a trailer, okay?
That's right.
Guys, it wasn't my birthday, please. First teaser, I was like, hell yeah, I'm in.
Yep.
Longer teaser, I was like, oh no, I'm out.
I thought I was still in.
I was like, I'm cautious.
Yeah.
I don't think I like it, but I'm open to it still, People in chat are being really funny. It's distracting. And then this trailer, I'm like, okay, I'm back in.
Yeah.
I'm back in, but I'm not all the way in.
Yeah.
I have my reservations. I have my concerns, if you will. But I don't think it's a bad trailer. I don't think it looks like a bad movie.
I think it looks good. We can't show any because we get hit every time we try.
Yeah, YouTube comes and beats us up.
Yeah.
Somebody from YouTube shows up and just fucking hits us.
Honestly.
And I'm tired of it.
And sometimes we'll just be sitting there and we'll think that everything is fine. And we'll be typing like this because we use the airline software.
Yeah.
And we'll be typing like this.
We're a hot girl at the airport.
And YouTube just walks behind us and does one of those.
And I just don't have any more brain cells to spare for that. So we're not going to show the trailer.
Just one of those. And I'm just like, that's almost worse than being hit hard.
No, it is. It's like the surprise of it all.
The surprise and also like the condescending nature of it.
It feels bad emotionally to get hit like that and physically. So we're not going to show you the trailer.
However, we will say that this trailer shows off a lot more of what's going on. Some of the things that we predicted came true.
Yeah.
It looks like the movie will mostly be about Lydia. Astrid, her daughter, gets kidnapped, taken to the afterlife.
Yeah.
Where Beetlejuice is working as some sort of middle manager. And they have to work together. Lydia and Beetlejuice have to work together.
Is he working as a middle manager in the afterlife? I know she
is.
calls on him for help, but
He's working in like some sort of afterlife call center or something, and he's got like a bunch of the shrunken head guys as his employees.
They overdid it a little on the shrunken head.
The shrunken head, honestly,
I feel like they overused it a little bit.
You know when they take like a very funny, like it's a memorable moment, but like it's a memorable moment because it's a one-time thing.
And it's not actually that funny in the movie. It's just like so they overdid it a bit.
They overdid it a bit, but it's everybody going into the afterlife to get Lydia's kid back.
Yeah.
We don't see enough afterlife.
We don't. So the interesting thing is, the reason that the first Beetlejuice movie is so like visually interesting is not actually because of the afterlife really, or Lydia or the Maitlands. Like it is because of the Dietz, right? So it is because of her parents and her new stepmom's weird like taste in it that everybody is like hating in this world, right? Like it's not supposed to be like, ooh, she's fun and creepy and that's why the house is creepy. The house is creepy because she has like a weird stepmom that's into like modern art in a strange way.
Yeah.
So we lose that aesthetic in it, but I feel like that was done really intentionally to be able to create a weird setting to play in, right?
Yeah.
Like it looks very classically Tim Burton, but it is justified in world by something, which means that like the rest of the world doesn't look like that and they don't go into the rest of the world. It's very like small and centralized to in this house.
Yeah.
This looks a lot bigger. This goes out into the world. We see different locations and it feels really weird to see Lydia and Beetlejuice and these other characters existing around like normal visual sets.
Yeah.
Like a normal church.
So yeah, I think with this one, you know, at the end, we see that the Maitlands take their house back over, sort of like they're coexisting with the Dietzes, and like everything at the end of the first one.
At the end of the first one, okay,
and everything looks like a little more like quaint small town again.
Yeah,
and the idea is that like, the idea that I'm getting from this trailer is they don't still live in this town. They are clearly from the city. We actually see Tim Burton's thing with like his recent thing with boarding schools is interesting to me. I don't know if that's a Tim Burton thing or an Alfred Miller Miles Goff thing because they've been writing so much for him. But we do like, she's basically Wednesdaying again, where she's like we see her at a boarding school, Astrid, where she's like wearing her private school patch and everything. And then they have to go back to the small town, to the house for a reason.
Yeah. Is she in a boarding school or a private school? All we saw is a uniform, so I'm assuming just a private school.
Yeah, it's either a prep school or a boarding school, but it's like it's the same thing. It's very like that's his thing right now.
Yeah.
So they have to go back to this small town. So they're still like fish out of water, I think, which is interesting. But I think the idea is that like the Dietzes can't be normal no matter where they are. Like that's sort of what they're trying to show.
Interesting. That's not the vibe I get from the trailer. What we get is like her talking to a boy her age. And it seems like she's kind of embarrassed by like her mother's reputation.
Yeah.
He was like, oh my God, your mom is Lydia Dietz. Like she's a legend, right? The creepy house on the hill. It like feels like a little bit of like, it's interesting too, because it's like, you didn't picture it as the creepy house on the hill, right? Like it wasn't a creepy house. It was the Maitland's beautiful home, right? So it's like, it's a little more Edward Scissorhands in that. Like the imagery is very Edward Scissorhands from that. I love Edward Scissorhands, even though we hate who's in it in this house. So it's just
but it's Lydia growing up to be the weird mom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The mom that is embarrassing to the kid, the same as like I forget what the mother's name, with Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah. Very interesting.
We don't see enough. Yeah, Delia. We don't see enough Catherine O'Hara. I'll tell you that much.
I hope there's way more of her in the movie because we love Delia Dietz in this house.
Yeah.
I have like, I kind of go up and down like this with the trailer. I think it was a good trailer. I think it was way better than the last teaser that we got. I think it's going to be a fun movie.
Yeah.
I am just doing my best to measure my expectations. Beetlejuice, for those who are not familiar, is literally my favorite movie. I have talked myself out of a Beetlejuice tattoo for like 10 straight years.
I don't know why.
They're all a little cringe after a couple years. I look back and I'm like, ooh, that wasn't it.
It's tricky because like it's got that like, this used to be a thing that was sold very popularly at Hot Topic thing, where it's like, is this going to age as poorly as I think?
Am I going to feel like I have a Gur tattoo?
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. I was going to say an Invader Zim tattoo, but I got a soft spot in my heart for Invader Zim, and I don't want to rag on anybody that's got an Invader Zim tattoo. I also
love Invader Zim. Invader Zim is fantastic. But there was that thing where it's like, ooh, okay, now this has become really associated with a specific like mall Hot Topic situation.
Yeah. It's like, I have a feeling like in 5 years, people, or maybe I would imagine already, people with Rick and Morty tattoos are kind of looking at their Rick and Morty tattoos going,
somebody's looking down at that Pickle Rick being like, well.
Maybe it's not the funniest shit I've ever seen.
I've since seen things funnier.
But I am hoping that we get more of a, you know, when we talked about the last trailer, we talked about Monkey Bone. And I do hope we get a little more Monkey Bone in this, in that like, I want to see more of the afterlife. I know the first movie was not about the afterlife, but we can no longer,
deny what is between us and the afterlife.
That's right. But also the stuff that like has become the legacy of Beetlejuice, right? It's kind of like how the first Back to the Future is a movie about a kid realizing that parents are people.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Your parents are normal people who tried their best.
Yeah.
That's what Back to the Future is. Back to the Future 2 is, I'm flying in a car and my hoverboard's breaking and oh shit, these pizzas have been freeze dried.
Yeah.
Like,
action adventure.
Yeah, weird, it's sort of like we built this world and people are like, I want to see more of the world. And so it's like, yeah, we're getting sandworms and it's like flattened people on the dry cleaning racks. And it's, I want to see more of the afterlife since that's what they're leaning into.
Yeah.
And especially because as somebody who really loved the cartoon.
Yeah.
When we saw that first trailer, I was like, I'm getting animated series vibes.
Yeah.
And I'm still getting those. I just want more of them.
You know what would have been fine for me? The whole world could have been a little creepier. It didn't need to be as set in the real world. Because like, there's no reason to assume that this is our world when they have a literal door in their attic to the afterlife. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to justify of like, well, why would a church look like that in the real world? There's tons of creepy churches. You know what I mean? I just feel like there used to be a thing with Tim Burton when Tim Burton knew how to do Tim Burton movies, which was like, we don't have to justify why things are a little extra weird and creepy here. Like, the world here is just a little weirder and a little creepier and like a little more aesthetic. Like, things are oddly shaped and proportioned and like,
you think about,
I want to see more of that, like in the architecture and the decorating.
Yeah, you think
like
about the suburban neighborhood in Edward Scissorhands, where like, okay, it's not creepy, but it's heightened enough to where you're like, this is weird.
Yeah.
Like,
when you go into the actual castle at the top of the hill, like, why are the doors shaped like that? There's no justification for that, even in world of like the, you know, doctor that created Edward.
It's a lot like in the Wednesday show when they went into town, like, and it was like, okay, it's a town full of normies. I was like, yeah, sure. But that doesn't mean we have to just like shoot everywhere standard. Looking super standard.
I just want it to be a little weirder, and maybe it will be once we get to it. We haven't seen the movie yet, but I do think that it's a good trailer. I am looking forward to the movie a lot. I am just measuring my expectations in hopefully a healthy way.
Well, can I tell you, there's one part where I was just like, oof, oof. Boomer movie where like,
I think I know what it is.
Where everybody's on their phones taking video of Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Because there's a ghost in front of you doing ghost things.
Yeah.
And so Beetlejuice turns around and he makes everybody's phones start sucking them in because it's like, oh, you're all obsessed with your phones. And I was like,
I agree. I felt twofold on that because the point where their faces start sucking in, I'm like, that's Beetlejuice, right? It was weird and stretchy faces. So Beetlejuice. It was such a Beetlejuice moment.
It was the most.
The commentary on it was a little boomer.
Yeah, it was the most close to the original movie.
Yeah.
Where it was like, I'm doing the ironic punishment to you.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
I kind of liked it.
I liked it, but I was also like, why is this the one?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's like, can we get a moment of privacy? And then has everybody's like faces get sucked into their phones.
Also, by the way, everybody, this is just your reminder. Watch Monkey Bone.
I've never seen it.
It's a Brendan Fraser movie.
Never seen it. All right. Okay. Well, you know, that go watch the trailer on your own. I wish that we could show it and talk about it with you. Let's continue with a little bit of movie news.
Movie news.
A little bit of movie news, right?
Yeah.
Movies and stuff.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Did you see Inside Out too?
No.
Really cute. Fantastic. I'm surprised that people think it's so fantastic that it passed the Super Mario Brothers film as the second highest grossing animated film.
Whoa.
Right? At the box office, obviously.
Right on.
Right?
Hey, the movies are back, baby.
Yeah.
The movies are back, baby.
Honestly, seeing stuff like this is comforting to feel like people are seeing movies again. I love going to the movie theater and I don't want all my movie theaters to close.
Yeah.
I also understand the inaccessibility of movie theaters in a lot of ways. So it is a nuanced issue. They have made $578.3 million in just North America at the box office and $1.37 billion worldwide.
Wow. Right on.
So it passed Super Mario Bros. Both North America and worldwide.
Hey, can I tell you something?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just happy something knocked Super Mario Bros. Out of that spot.
Really?
I think the Super Mario Brothers movie is fine.
Yeah, that's right. You didn't like it very much.
I think it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But if Inside Out 2 is better and it made more money, I think that's great. And making more money doesn't make it better. I'm just saying if it is better and it made more money, all right.
You know, I personally loved the Super Mario Brothers movie, but I don't think it was a better movie. I just love the IP enough that I was so happy to be in it, you know?
Yeah.
I think Inside Out 2 was super cute, but I didn't walk out being like, holy shit about and I love animated movies. So I also understand like not being the target demographic for it. I loved the first Inside Out and I feel like I walked out like,
I thought
oh my
it was
God,
wonderful.
this is the greatest thing. I think it was a fantastic movie. I think it was absolutely adorable. It was so cute.
Yeah. And I like the idea of going into instead of a little kid's mind, going into a teenager's mind and like all the new emotions and complicated things. And I think it's great.
So cute.
But I just
didn't think it was that big. I was so surprised it was that big.
I was shocked that it was going to be that huge, that it's that huge too, because like, I don't know if you say, what's your favorite Pixar movie? I wonder how many people I know would say Inside Out.
I feel like kind of a lot of people now, actually. Tetsuan Adam said Inside Out has cultivated that nostalgia spot for a lot of people. And I was like, when did it come out? Can we be nostalgic for it already?
Yes.
It was 2015. So it's almost 10 years.
Yeah.
Kind of wild. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, man, that's so appropriate for like kids that watched it when they were a kid now get to watch it as teenagers or whatever, you know, and the characters grow up with them. That's good stuff. I like that. But I do like, I don't know if I were to ask everybody I knew, hey, what's your favorite Pixar movie?
Yeah.
What's your favorite Pixar movie?
I don't know. What's yours? I feel like I need a list of Pixar movies in front of me.
Yeah, it was probably Planes 2.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's probably Planes 2. Or Cars 7.
Okay, yeah. That's probably it.
I was a big Monsters, Inc. guy. I really loved the original Monsters, Inc.
Monsters, Inc. at the time. Recently, Turning Red.
Yeah.
Loved Turning Red.
I'm a big Ratatouille guy.
I'm not a Ratatouille guy.
Love Ratatouille.
I only saw it like half once when it came out when I was pretty young. So it was at like an awkward time where I wasn't like young enough to be the target demographic, but old enough to re-enjoy animated movies again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm also an Incredibles guy.
Oh, The Incredibles is great.
I was going to say Incredibles, yeah.
As a kid, A Bug's Life. I was a Bug's Life kid.
Yeah.
I was shocked and stunned when they took most of the A Bug's Life stuff out of California Adventure and Disneyland. I couldn't believe it. I was devastated. I was like, we all love A Bug's Life. Turns out, not true.
No, turns out that's where Tony Stark gets his pretzels.
Yeah.
Meet the Robinsons.
Coco's fantastic.
Coco's amazing. I mean, that's the thing is like Pixar's got so many bangers. I mean, Finding Nemo.
Yeah, I wasn't a Toy Story kid. I'm just going to say it. Never been a Toy Story kid.
I've always enjoyed Toy Story, but I wouldn't put them up at my favorites.
Right? It just wasn't that high for me.
Yeah. I don't know, man. There's so many good, I mean, WALL-E was huge.
Yeah. Love WALL-E. Love The Incredibles. Love Big Hero 6.
Yeah.
Big Hero? Love Big Hero.
Yeah, that's right. That was Big Hero 6 was Pixar?
Yeah.
Wow, that's right.
I'm looking right now on Google and according to it is.
No, I'm just like, huh.
Yeah.
I always think of that as more of a Disney, but
It's the Disney Pixar side of it. Yeah, because there's straight up Pixar and then there's like Disney Pixar as releases. Not a Cars person, but yeah, Incredibles is really up there.
yeah, I don't know. And like when you think about all those, to say like Inside Out is like my favorite. I don't know. It's tough to put it up there. I mean, but the thing is, Pixar just does so many good things.
But Inside Out is really good.
It is really good.
Like, it's really good.
That's the thing, is like when you're like, hey,
Inside Out does deserve to be up there.
you hold up like Coco and Monsters Inc. at me and you're just like,
Yeah,
here
yeah.
you go. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. They're both amazing.
Right.
What do you want me to do?
I think I would have put Inside Out probably in my top 5
Yeah.
for Pixar movies easily. Yeah.
If I had to sit and make a list,
Inside
I
Out
don't
would have made it my top 5.
I don't know that it would have been in my top 5, but
It would have made my top 5.
man, there's so many Pixar movies.
There's so many Pixar movies, a lot of
and
good ones.
we're not even talking about Plane 17.
Yeah,
Plane 17 is great.
exactly.
That's the one where they carpet bomb Cambodia. Jesus Christ. Like, listen.
Yeah. I like Cars 12. Cars 12, they have bike racks now.
Yep. That's a good one. And then the bikes are like, let us go.
Yeah, and they're children.
We're being held without our consent.
Yeah. So
Let us off of here.
there's so many of these movies I haven't seen. I'm looking now and I'm like, wow, I never saw The Good Dinosaur.
You're good.
Yeah. All right. I still haven't
You're good.
seen Onward, honestly.
Onward's pretty good.
I watched like half of Onward and I keep meaning to go back to it.
But
I missed that one.
As a fantasy and D&D girly, you should really check out
I know.
Onward.
I just missed it at the time and then I felt like I was too late. I need to go back to Onward. I really do. Hey.
Giggle Loop says, I've heard Cars 3 makes Cars 2 look like Cars 1.
Meet the Robinsons. Shout out to Meet the Robinsons.
Was that Pixar? That was just Disney.
That is coming up under Pixar movies.
Yeah, double check. With Google now, I double check.
Yeah, Google does lie all the time
Google
now.
will lie.
Yeah, Alex, you tell us.
Yeah.
Was Meet the Robinsons Disney Pixar?
I think that's just Disney. I put Meet the Robinsons with like Chicken Little and stuff, where it's like Disney
Chicken
started
Little
doing.
also came up.
Yeah,
so.
but Chicken Little's not Pixar.
I think it's just Disney.
It's just
Disney.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's
Thank you, Big Head, Little Arms.
Big Head, Little Arms.
The Big Head and Little Arms. I don't think this plan was very well thought through.
But now Inside Out 2 is the second highest grossing under Frozen 2.
Yeah.
Frozen 2, it's going to be a long time until an animated film dethrones Frozen 2.
I just am surprised it's the sequels of both. Isn't that wild?
I unfortunately think that it proves the horrible things that we think cannot be true, which is like Hollywood goes, oh no, you love an IP.
Yeah.
No, you love an IP. And we're like, we
Yeah.
want new stories. And it's like, well, do you?
Prove it.
Prove it.
And it makes
Cowards.
sense, like specifically, these are box office numbers. These are not like all, including downloads and sales after the fact.
Right.
So when you have the first
take
one, it
money
builds
away.
over time. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which take
when
money
you
and
have the
then it
first
goes
one, it
away.
builds over time. It's not just the highest grossing in general, it's
Yeah.
the highest grossing at the box office, right?
Right.
So this is about like who showed up to the movie theater. And a lot of the time with the first movie, a lot of people saw it in theaters, but then a lot of people saw it after.
Sure.
And then if you saw it after and you liked it, then you go to the second one in theaters.
Right. And a lot of times with sequels will peak in the theaters because they're not as good as the original. And so they don't have the legs that the original has. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes. But it does really just sort of, unfortunately, prove Hollywood correct that everything that's up at the top of the charts is just sequel after sequel.
Rip to us and our choices.
Rip to everything.
Oop.
Rip to computers and movies.
Which,
you had a good run, computers and movies.
hey, speaking of which, the Emmy nominations just dropped.
Hey, congratulations to whoever. I guess the Bear probably.
Yeah.
Probably the Bear, right? What else do people like?
Fallout.
Oh, yeah.
Fallout with the drama series nom.
Hey, congrats to IPs. All of our favorite IPs.
Hey, congrats to brands.
Oh, my gosh.
To business.
Brands?
To IP. To copyright and to trademark today.
Shout out to 100-year copyright renewals.
Woo!
Yo,
But in all seriousness, I was actually pretty excited to see Fallout nominated. It was interesting because it's a fantastic drama series and it's also a fantastic comedy.
Yeah.
And I would have been fine with it in either category. I know everyone else wouldn't have been, but I'd have been fine with it. I think that show's funny as hell.
Would they put it in drama?
Drama. Drama series.
They put it in drama?
Drama. Shogun, The Crown, The Gilded Age, The Morning Show, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and Three Body Problem.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I've heard it's so good.
It is good. It is good. I just didn't think that enough people had been into it that it would get a nom.
Yeah.
That would get a nom is what we say in the industry.
You know, we're cash.
Saying the nom.
We get it.
We're getting the nom.
Yeah. People are talking a lot about, and including Sarah, hi Sarah, about the Game Changer submission for the Emmys. Unfortunately, Game Changer did not get a nomination, but Sam put out a great statement on it, which is like kind of how I felt when they started the campaign for it and all of us looking at it. It was like, this is a promotional stunt no matter what.
Yes.
No matter what, they did all of this stuff. They got closer than shows like them have gotten, and new people know about a cool show. And that's awesome on the internet.
It's the industry is not ready.
Yeah.
The industry is not ready yet. Yeah. Even though so many of these shows are digital shows and streaming shows, the industry is not ready for an independently owned company to come in and go, we also make TV and it's just as popular as yours.
And better.
And we do it for like none of the money.
Yeah.
They're not ready.
Also in the Fallout world, lead actor in a drama series, Walton Goggins got a nomination.
Woo!
That's pretty exciting. I think that's pretty neat.
A lot of ghoul fuckers on that Emmy.
Yeah, there are.
On those Emmy noms.
Yeah, there are. I was really surprised. I'm blanking on her name right now. The lead of the Fallout series. Give me her name. I only remembered Walton Goggins because it's in front of me. Ella Purnell.
Ella Purnell.
What is her name, Alex?
Ella Purnell.
I was right?
Ella Purnell.
Is it Ella Purnell? No, I don't think that's right. I think it's Emma. Ella Purnell. I had it? No shit.
Ella Purnell,
That's awesome. She didn't get nominated for Best Actress in a drama series.
Cowards.
I think that's really ridiculous.
Absolute cowards.
Carried that show in her palm. Walton Goggins was amazing, but like the range that she showed in that show was brilliant. And I feel like her being a character that is not as like shocking, you know what I mean? Like her being a character that isn't like,
that's the thing.
It was so good and it was so grounded and it was so smart and it was so funny and it was so like.
It's the difference between being good in a role that's written to be the role that steals the show versus being good in a role that was not written that way.
Yeah.
And you are able, I'm not saying that Walton Goggins is like, oh, his role was written that way and that's a crutch.
He was brilliant.
He's
in it.
brilliant. But there are some characters that are written to steal the show.
Yeah.
And that makes more of an impact on people, I think, when they watch. But to be the straight person in that show, to be the person who's like, I have to be the grounded, like consistent, emotional character. I can't be the funny, wacky, crazy, silly, like scary character. I have to be the emotional anchor of this show. And she crushed it.
It is such a hard role and she's brilliant. And yes, she is the reason the whole show works. Like nobody else could do what they did in that show without the way that she performed that. Instead, they were like, you know who needs it? Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon, both for the morning show.
Hey, listen, I got friends in the morning show and here's what I'm going to tell you. You don't need to nominate the morning show so much.
It's got so many nominations.
Apple puts so much money into getting the morning show onto those nominations every year. And it's like, okay, we get it. The morning show is good and it's expensive.
Yeah.
But like, who's watching the morning show?
How about Best Supporting Actress? 4 nominations for the morning show in Best Supporting Actress. These are the only women they know, apparently.
That's it.
It's the only show with women in it. That's the only people that you could put in Best Supporting Actress. 4.
Oh, I'm sorry.
4.
We don't get Io Debris?
Io Debris?
Yeah. We don't get her?
No.
She's not on there?
For everything?
She's not on there?
Ridiculous. Absolutely silly and ridiculous. I think this is weird. There's only 3 nominations that aren't the morning show in it.
Oh, she's nominated. Oh, thank God. She is nominated. Okay.
Yeah, wait, hold on. Let's see. Lead actress in, but not in a drama.
Wait, is The Bear under comedy?
It must be.
Oh, okay. The Bear's under comedy.
Okay, because I didn't see her under
Fallout's
drama.
under drama and the Bear's under comedy.
Sure.
And Up is down and whatever. It's
whatever.
fine. Nothing matters.
It's interesting because looking at the nominations this year, a lot of them are just like old actors. And I feel like, I don't know, we kind of come and go, but this year feels particularly where it's like, oh, okay, we've got Paul Rudd and Steve Martin and Martin Short and Larry David and, you know, and where you're like, okay, it just feels like a lot of people that like Hollywood already loves and has given awards to, and we get it. And like not a lot of new people getting recognized in it this year, which is strange. But also, how can we be surprised? It's literally, who cares?
But also, like, here's what I'm going to say. Lead actor in a comedy series, it's time to give it to Matt Berry.
Yeah.
It's
100%.
time. Listen, I know he's just another old actor.
Yeah.
But here's what I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
It's time for Matt Berry to be Emmy winner Matt Berry.
I think Jeremy Allen White might take it.
He's probably going to take it because they put the Bear in comedy and that's not where it belongs.
Yeah.
And that's not where Jeremy Allen White's performance belongs for the Bear. But fine.
Yeah.
But here's what I'm also going to tell you. It's time.
Yeah.
It's time. It's time for Jackie Daytona
Yeah.
from Tucson, Arizona to win an Emmy.
Interesting. I don't care very much, if I'm honest, about award shows. So I'm not going to get terribly into these. But you just scroll down and you're like, oh, okay. It's a lot of actors that have like, that we know that have been in things for many, many years. And okay.
Here's the thing. The Bear has broken the record for comedy series nominations at the Emmys. And this to me feels like they're pulling a Martian.
Interesting.
Do you remember The Martian? The Matt Damon movie, The Martian? Yes. Where they decided, hey, you know what The Martian is? The Martian's a comedy. And they sent The Martian into every single award show as a comedy. And everybody's like, oh, The Martian is very good.
So it's better than these other comedies because people don't really respect comedy.
And it won so many awards.
Yeah.
It won the Golden Globe. And Matt Damon even went up and was like,
okay,
I didn't know we were making a comedy. Like, he literally said it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what's going on with the Bear. I feel like they're just like, it's the Bear must win everything.
The Bear must sweep.
X-Men 97.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I think that's neat. My computer was like, hey, your battery's low. Dead.
X-Men 97 animated program is Blue Eye Samurai, Scavenger's Reign, The Simpsons, and X-Men 97. Hey, there's only one of those that I don't think needs to win an award. The others,
sure,
I would love to see any of them win. Have you watched Scavenger's Reign?
No.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. Have you watched it, Alex? It's so good. You'll love it.
Yeah. The Simpsons is good. It's fine. It's fine.
The Simpsons is older than your father. The Simpsons has won plenty of awards.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right. But yeah, a lot of these you're just like, okay, well, reality competition program, MILF Manor did unfortunately get snubbed.
Boo.
You've got classics, The Amazing Race, RuPaul's Drag Race, Top Chef, The Traitors, The Voice. All right.
Hey, if you're going to try to win an Emmy, it looks like the place to go in is scripted variety series because there are only 2 nominated. Last Week Tonight with John Oliver and Saturday Night Live.
Fascinating.
What?
Fascinating.
First of all, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver as a variety show, brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Throw it in there.
Sure, because there's a talk show. There's a talk series that's got like Jimmy Kimmel and Seth Meyers.
Yeah.
And putting him instead with SNL, honestly, smart.
You know what's weird though is like The Daily Show is in for writing for a variety series, but it looks like The Daily Show maybe just didn't submit themselves.
They got talks. They're up for talk series.
They're in talk?
They're in talk.
So John Oliver was like, I'm not going to win talk.
Yeah.
Can I be a variety series?
I will say,
it's pretty smart.
honestly, it's not inaccurate. There's a lot of like sketches and stuff that they do that a lot of other shows don't.
He brings out weird characters and stuff.
And they like cut away to like sketches and stuff that's pre-recorded. I don't think that's inaccurate.
No, it's just some clever sneakiness. That's all.
I know this is probably always a thing and I just don't pay attention to award show nominations, but Variety Special Live, the fact that the Grammys and the Oscars can win an Emmy is so funny.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. The
variety
Tonys
special-
won an Emmy?
Yeah. The Tonys are the closest to EGOTing that anyone's ever been.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a whole category. It's the Super Bowl halftime show starring Usher. It's literally called Apple Music Super Bowl whatever number halftime show starring Usher. 66th Grammys, the greatest roast of all time, Tom Brady. The Oscars and the 76th Annual Tony Awards. That's what's nominated for an Emmy as Variety Special Live.
Hey, we've got a statement from Usher about the nomination. If you want to bring up my screen with audio, Alex.
Yeah, there you go.
Christmas Xbox, it's Usher, and I hope that Santa got you everything you asked for, including Dance Central 3.
Thanks, Usher.
Thanks, Usher.
Thanks, Usher.
Accepting his award nomination with such grace. That's it. That's the Emmys. That's the movies. That's what's going on at the movies, I guess.
Every year, I send my friends at Harmonix that video.
Merry Christmas, Xbox.
Yeah.
Who are you talking?
Merry Christmas.
What was that for?
It's for Dance Central 3.
But like,
it was just, they just put it up on social. It's just like a 20-second clip.
Why did he say Merry Christmas, Xbox?
Because Xbox paid for it.
But not from Xbox. Merry Christmas to Xbox.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to Xbox from Xbox.
But it's also like,
Usher.
it's not
Usher
like
presents
Xbox fans, Xbox players to Xbox.
Yeah. Xbox.
The console or the company.
Xbox presents, Usher presents Merry Christmas Xbox to Xbox from Xbox and Usher and Dance Central 3.
Wait, there's an Easter one too?
Yeah, the Easter one as well. That's all it says. Yeah. The Easter one just says Happy Easter Xbox.
They just brought Usher in and had him record holiday greetings to Xbox?
Yeah.
Like a cameo?
Yeah. He was doing press. And they had him do every holiday.
And they were like, sit down. All right, say Happy Hanukkah. And he wouldn't.
He wouldn't.
He wouldn't do it.
That's not, we don't know if that's true.
That's not true.
We don't know if that's true.
I'm just goofing.
We don't know if that's true.
I was just goofing.
Somebody asked if that was a John Drake joint, and I believe it was. I believe that was when John Drake was at Harmonix, and he knew how foolish it would be.
Happy Easter, Xbox.
Yeah, Happy Easter, Xbox.
Happy President's Day, Xbox.
Yeah. Happy Holocaust Day of Remembrance. No, he wouldn't do that.
He wouldn't do it. He didn't do Indigenous Peoples Day either, though. It's not just us, okay? We're not the only ones impacted by this, and I want to be clear about that. He did not give us a happy Indigenous Peoples Day.
No, we don't know. We're just making this up.
I only know of him. Are there any other ones? Is
up.
it just Christmas and Easter?
It's just Christmas and Easter.
Hey, I will say, pretty Jesus-based, though.
It is.
I will say you did pick the two most Jesus-heavy holidays.
Yeah, I wonder if that was John Drake that picked that, or if that was Usher that picked it, or if it was the brand Xbox that picked it, or if it was Dance Central 3 that picked it, or if it was
the console itself,
Harmonix that picked it.
I have so many questions.
Hey, while we're talking about Xbox though.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about these weird one-off things that Xbox makes.
Okay.
The Barbie console, the SpongeBob console. The one-off controllers that they do. It's always a sweepstakes.
The Barbie controllers that I wanted more than anything I've ever wanted in my whole life, and nobody was able to get one for me at Xbox because they didn't sell them and they sent them to certain people, and I wasn't one of those people.
From what I understand, those special controllers, when they make them, like depending on it, like they make like 10, 20. And the consoles, like the sweepstakes ones, they don't send to anybody. That's for sweepstakes winners.
I play my Xbox every day, please.
Xbox. The most recent one is the Deadpool controller that's got a booty.
It's got ass.
It's a Deadpool.
Why don't you show it on my screen so we are not covering up the ass? We're covering the most important part currently.
Yeah. There we go. So it's a Deadpool controller with the Deadpool ass on it.
Yep.
And out of every controller out of every giveaway that they've ever done, do you remember the Final Fantasy one doesn't even play games?
Oh yeah, that was just a box.
It was just a box. They were like, this does not play games.
Yeah.
If you win this, it's more like an art piece.
Yeah.
You cannot put a disc in it. It does not boot up.
Don't try.
Don't try. So I do sometimes wonder if these like controllers and things that they give away for sweepstakes are real. It doesn't matter. What matters is out of every single one of these giveaways, people are losing their minds over this Deadpool one. And they are basically petitioning Xbox, give us the ass controller. Why can't we have the controller with the ass?
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
Ugh. The idea of holding that while playing a game actually, and I really do genuinely mean, this makes me want to throw up a little bit.
Well, imagine it.
The problem is that I'm imagining it, and that's what's making me gag slightly.
You sort of just...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's the most ergonomic thing to play with.
I don't know why it grosses me out.
Because it's a man's butt on a controller.
I guess.
Because you're not expecting to grab a man's butt. You're expecting to grab a controller.
Yeah, I guess. Does it help if you picture Ryan Reynolds? Not at all.
Remember that Ryan Reynolds is for straight men.
Yeah.
Remember that Ryan Reynolds is the sexiest man alive 3 times for straight men.
As a gay, mostly woman, I'm as far as you can get from the target demographic of Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds is the male ideal of the female ideal of the male ideal.
Yes. That's what men think that women want.
Yeah.
He's not, there's nothing wrong. He's a fine, normal looking man.
Yeah. He's a good looking man.
Sure. He's a good looking man.
He's in great shape.
I don't want the good looking man's butt in my hands.
He was a masked singer.
Okay.
Before it came to America.
Yeah.
That was cool.
And like Deadpool's fun. That's cool. Yeah. I don't know why this like makes me gag a little bit, the idea of holding it and it feeling like that.
But it does feel like for Deadpool fans, this is a perfect piece of Deadpool merchandise.
Yeah. Is the people with the Pickle Rick tattoo?
They
look down at their Pickle Rick tattoo while they're holding their butt controller and they're like, hell yeah.
They've got a Pickle Rick tattoo that they got as a cover up for their Gurr tattoo.
Yeah.
That they got as a cover up for their Emily the Strange tattoo.
Exactly.
That they got as a cover up for their Edward Scissorhands tattoo.
Exactly. So, I don't think boobs actually don't make it a lot better for me. I really just think that feels bad.
How do you feel about the mouse pads that are like the jiggly boobs or butts?
Also really don't like it.
I don't like them either.
I also really don't like it. From what I understand as a zillennial, I am a part of the prude generation. Yeah. Apparently. But like, I don't like it.
You're half prude on your mother's side.
Yeah. The side that counts.
Yeah, that's right.
But like, I don't know.
I honestly... The thing that I think is the best that they've done is I think it's AMC, where if you buy 2 tickets and you pay extra, you get the friendship lockets.
Love that.
The Deadpool and Wolverine half-heart friendship lockets, I think are amazing.
I like Sarah's take on this. Said hot take. Totally not a hot take. We're with you. They make Deadpool too straight in those movies. I want him to kiss Wolverine in the next one. 100%. Yeah. Because you know what he also is? He's the straight guy's idea of like a little gay. Yeah. Like the way he flirts with men is the way that straight men can write flirting with men. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's the way that like frat dudes jokingly flirt with each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It always gives a little bit of no homo, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, Deadpool's pan unless there's a lady around. Then he's 100% not.
Yeah. Isn't Deadpool canonically pansexual? That's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about his actual sexuality, much less the canon of the character. We're talking about the way that people write movies because Deadpool isn't real.
Yeah. Deadpool, don't worry. Deadpool, we're not actually getting Deadpool, the human being's sexuality incorrect.
Yeah.
Because Deadpool there is no Deadpool, real. The human being.
Yeah, Deadpool actually isn't real.
But what we are talking about is the depiction of a character that is supposed to be pansexual.
Right.
And how it's like, well, Or is he just into Morena Baccarin?
Which, like, again, it's not even a matter of questioning the character's sexuality.
Yeah.
It's not. And it's not even a matter of like pan with a default choice, because that's also a valid form of queerness.
Right.
It is okay to be queer and in hetero-facing or hetero preference or whatever.
But the way that he is going to flirt.
The way you're writing the queer interactions they sound like they're written by straight people.
He flirts with.
Right?
That's the thing, is he actually flirts with Morena Baccarin's character.
Yeah.
He actually he actually acts towards her like he has attraction and feelings, whereas then like he's like, hey bud, I'm gonna kiss you.
The queer interactions always come across as a joke. That's it.
Yeah.
The queer interactions always come across as, isn't it silly that I'm flirting with men?
Oh, by the way.
Right, exactly. They do always come across as like as a joke, as a goof.
Yeah, or as we're throwing it in there just so you remember.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, look, is it among the worst depictions I've ever seen? No,
far from it.
But you know,
but it's not the queer representation that we've all been waiting for. Deadpool, you know, it's not. Yeah, that's not my queer icon.
No, definitely not. So, but people really want this controller, Saige. Out of all the controllers, they definitely want this one. This is the one that they're after. To the point where like there are polls, people are petitioning.
It has 225,000 retweets to enter this sweepstakes too.
225,000.
That's a lot.
People trying to win one ass on a controller.
I didn't think that many people were still on Twitter.
Listen, if I was working in a manufacturer, in a company that manufactures things right now.
Yeah.
And I had a storefront on AliExpress or Temu.
Yeah.
I would be like, can we make an ass mold?
Can we?
What's it going to take to make an ass mold? That's right. Damp weather and time. That's the answer.
I know. I didn't want to say it because it was really grossing me out. I was a little too icked to say it. Yo, gross.
Let's keep talking about Xbox. Let's talk about Microsoft.
Okay.
Merry Easter. Happy Christmas.
Yeah.
A very bad boo finances to you, Xbox.
So you probably all saw last week a lot of news about the Xbox Game Pass price hike. It was significant, and it was also the thing we all saw coming, right? We all knew that it was not going to be sustainable at that price point. And it doesn't mean like, oh no, Xbox can't afford to keep it that way.
Well, and
they don't want to.
And this is the second price hike.
Yeah.
So in a year's time?
Yeah.
So
and they moved around features based on a new tiered system. So it was more than just like, oh, your subscription's going up by a couple dollars a month. It was about kind of things moving between core, standard, and ultimate and PC Game Pass.
Right. It was basically like, hey, not only are we messing with prices, we're messing with features to confuse you a little bit so you don't see how much we're actually messing with prices and product. They tweeted out a whole new matrix, an absolute decision matrix. One
of the big things that people were talking about is day one launches are no longer going to be available on the core or standard. They're only going to be available on Ultimate. So core, $9.99 a month. All you get is online, a limited catalog of 25 plus games on console, and member deals and discounts. You don't get the Game Pass catalog.
Go ahead and bring that up,
which is
Alex.
very funny because it's still called Game Pass. So it's just the elimination of like online in general. You know, Xbox Live is gone. That's Game Pass Core now, basically.
Right.
Game Pass Standard, you do not get day one launches. That's $15 a month. You also don't get like the EA Play and stuff like that and Xbox Cloud Gaming. Ultimate, $19.99 a month. You get all the way down that list.
Yeah. Now, this was not made by Microsoft, by the way.
Yeah, this was much clearer. This is from fans trying to be like, here's what is actually important.
Now, this is really messed up because they have made such a marketing thing of the last couple of years of day one on Xbox, day one on Xbox, day one on Game Pass, day one on Game Pass.
Yeah.
That's their whole thing. And that's what they've been saying this whole time. Well, now everything is only day one on Game Pass if you pay the highest level that you can pay for Game Pass.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say, remember that this comes after an additional price hike that already happened before this restructure And let's not forget a record number of layoffs, over 2,000 layoffs, and the destruction of multiple game studios within the last year. And they're making money.
Oh, yeah.
They're making money just fine. The FTC, the big deal about this is the FTC is like, hey, this is a problem.
Yeah.
And we said this was going to be a problem.
Right.
To which I say to the FTC,
do something about it. And I know they tried.
Get better at your jobs.
They filed a new letter. They have an ongoing appeal right now that was originally created to try and block the merger between Activision Blizzard and Microsoft. And they said this is exactly the sort of consumer harm that the merger from the merger that the FTC had alleged would happen. So basically, the FTC is just being like, "Told you so."
It didn't even take them a year.
Yeah.
It didn't even take them a year. It took them a matter of months
Yeah.
to immediately do everything
Yeah.
that the FTC warned everyone about. Now, like, listen, the FTC put this in front of, a commission that had to decide. But like, hey, number one, you didn't do a good enough job.
No.
And honestly, that's one of the things they made that entire case about Call of Duty. Do you remember, like, every main point in that case,
was
in that
just
argument
about,
they're making?
Are they still going to let PlayStation have Call of Duty?
Which is like, that's the most reductive thing to say.
So everybody was like, I don't care. People who were like, why does this matter?
Yeah, and then Microsoft was like, yeah, they can have Call of Duty.
They're like, we don't need that. We have so many other ways to make money.
Yeah, it turns out we own most of games now.
Yeah, you dummy. Sure, they can have Call of Duty. No problem. They say Microsoft's price increase and product degradation combined with Microsoft's reduced investment in output and product quality via employee layoffs, see FTC's February 2024 letter, are the hallmarks of firm exercising market power post-merger.
Yeah, this is them. What the FTC is saying is essentially they're getting closer and closer to a monopoly in this industry.
Yeah.
And they are acting like they have a monopoly in this industry, which we told you would happen. But we didn't tell you that enough. What we told you about mostly was Call of Duty.
Yeah.
The FTC didn't say something like, this is the total percentage of game studios or brand power.
Yeah.
When they talked about brand power, they talked about Call of Duty. They didn't point to all of these other things and go, listen, this is King.com, which is, something like 30% of the mobile games industry.
Which is a massive industry.
This is Activision Blizzard, which is a massive amount of your persistent online games industry. Yeah. Like, there was not enough of making clear what happened. Now, the other thing that you can say on the other side is we've got an incredibly pro-capitalist, pro-corporate government right now that wasn't going to care about anything that the FTC said.
No.
And that's a little defeatist. The FTC still has a responsibility to present the best case they can.
100%.
In a way that makes it seem, even to these people who are pro-corporation, that like, hey, if we do this, it will be for short-term gain at the cost of an entire industry within literally a matter of a couple years.
Exactly. They point to a filing from Microsoft at the time of the an initial lawsuit and merger, saying here the acquisition would benefit customers by making Call of Duty available on Microsoft's Game Pass on the day it is released on console with no price increase for the service based on the acquisition. Which now they're saying like, hey, sure sounds like this is a price increase based on the acquisition and you're not delivering on Call of Duty being available day one with no price increase.
That's right.
So they are already that was in February. So 6 months later, they are already going back on what they said because it was a promise, not an actual legal obligation.
I can't believe a corporation didn't follow through on what they said.
Are you telling me a corporation can just go to court and lie?
Are you telling me that if you ask somebody to be on their best behavior, they can say that they'll do it and then not be on their best behavior.
And because this hasn't gone through to anything, there is literally no legal obligation. Like nothing was imposed on Microsoft and Activision Blizzard after the merger because it's still tied up. Nothing has happened. So it's not like, oh, it went through, but they have to follow blank. Nothing. They just got to go through with it.
And I do want to say there are, look, the Call of Duty thing was hammered home a lot, not just by the FTC, but the reason why it was brought up quite a lot by the FTC is because PlayStation also had their own case against this merger. And PlayStation's case heavily hinged on Call of Duty. And I think the FTC really sort of just rode those coattails, hitched their wagon to that argument.
Get your own. You're the literal FTC. What do you mean?
I think they were trying, I think the FTC's strategy in that situation was to show that one of the other big players in the market was saying this is incredibly detrimental.
You guys love big business. I'm on the side with this big business.
Right.
So you're going to agree with us, right?
It's
not regulation versus big business.
No, even this big business is saying this is a bad regulation.
Right, exactly.
I thought it was very strange that this did not make it through in the UK.
Yeah.
The UK, as of late, has been very, very good about these anti-competitive measures.
In comparison.
Yeah. But things that should be a slam dunk over here have been going through. I mean, look, the UK is the reason that we've got USB-C on iPhones. And it's the reason we're going to have additional additional app stores and things like that.
Yeah.
So I was really hoping that it was going to go through in one of these freaking regions that was trying to put this through. We've been saying since the dawn of this thing that Game Pass, hey, it's great right now, but remember, we are riding the industry to the bottom.
Yeah, it's like Movie Pass.
Yeah, we are riding the industry to the bottom here. Listen, if you have a Game Pass membership, I don't blame you. I have a Game Pass membership.
Yeah, I have one. I use it constantly.
It's the only way I get to play a lot of the games that I want to play.
Same.
But it's the bottoming out of the industry.
Yeah.
When you can, support the developers you love directly.
Let's talk about a couple more games really quick. Let's speed run a couple of games. You did talk about Chibi Robo in the intro, so you got to talk about Chibi Robo, Anthony.
Oh, I have to talk about Chibi Robo?
I know.
Oh, no.
It's a hard life for Anthony's.
Have you played Chibi Robo? Alex, give me my single, please.
Oh.
Listen to me very carefully. If you have not yet played Chibi Robo, you must play Chibi Robo. Chibi Robo is one of the most beautiful and unique video games ever made. It was made by a developer called Skip that Nintendo did fucking dirty. Fucking dirty. Chibi Robo should be one of the faces of Nintendo, and instead, Chibi Robo was relegated to the trash heap. And it's horrible. They can't believe they did that to my little chibi boy.
All right.
My little Robo. If you have not played it.
Good morning. It's good to see you. Thanks for coming by.
If you have not played it, you must play it. But here's the deal. If you're like me and you're sad that there is not going to be a new Chibi Robo, worry not, because a lot of the people that started Skip have run away from Nintendo and they are announcing Co-Robo. Co-Robo!
Now, Co-Robo is not a game that exists yet. This is an upcoming Kickstarter to fund Co-Robo.
And normally we you know how we feel. We say, listen, a Kickstarter is not a pre-order.
Nope.
It's not a promise of quality. It's
only spend money you're willing to lose.
But hey, Chibi Robo!
There's a couple of interesting things. The Neopet TTRPG finally went live on Kickstarter. Funded.
Why are you trying to take away from Chibi Robo's spotlight right now? No, we're talking about Chibi Robo.
We're talking about Co-Robo, thank you.
Chibi
Robo is dead. Chibi is dead.
We know what we're talking about, wink.
You got anything else about it?
We know what we're talking. Yes. So Chibi Robo, if you have not played it, basically the deal is you are a little robot.
Yes.
That is there to make people's lives better. You are a home assistant robot that makes people's lives better. And at night in the house, toys come to life.
Great.
You have to carry around your own little plug to plug yourself into the wall, because while you're picking up trash and helping out people, your battery runs low and you got to go, ooh, ooh, and your plug comes out of your head.
Chibi Robo's fantastic.
It's amazing. So basically, Co-Robo is the story of a little robot and their 10-year-old owner, Tom, and they live in Brooklyn, New York, in a little apartment.
New York.
Brooklyn, New York.
Of course.
And it's the same as Chibi Robo. You have to help out the family, perform tasks around the home, meet the mysterious denizens of the apartment building, and defend Tom and those he loves from a mysterious enemy that can travel through space-time. It's just Chibi Robo.
Great.
It's Chibi Robo, baby. I'm so excited. Our goal is to create a game that everyone can enjoy, so Co-Robo is intended to be a cozy and comfy game that we hope everyone will fall in love with. It's all about bringing people together and working towards a better tomorrow. If Chibi Robo came out, I've always said if Chibi Robo came out today, it would crush.
Oh, yeah.
It would crush the cozy adventure, cute mascot character game.
Yeah.
Chibi Robo walked, so every game you play right now could fly around like a little robot. Play Chibi Robo, but also take a look at Co-Robo.
All right, I got one more thing.
One more thing.
I know we gotta call it. We're over time.
We're over time.
But we can't, as maybe the biggest fans of Placid Plastic Duck Simulator, we cannot skip this piece of news.
No, we cannot.
It's massive. We love Placid Plastic Duck Simulator. We've streamed it. We've put it on the Patreon. We have an excellent collection of ducks. And they've got more for you. They thought, hey, do you want more? And we said, no, we're okay, actually. We're so happy with this.
There's so many ducks. You've done so much for me. I'm so happy.
You've done so much. I got the expansion. There was even more ducks. And they said, it's okay.
There are 2 expansions. We got them both.
It's okay. There's more for you. They are working on a new card battler video game for Placid Plastic Duck Simulator. There is currently no release date for it.
But it's called Placid Plastic Duck.
God, that's good. Look at those cards.
They call it a mix between Inscription and Pokemon.
Let's watch the trailer.
Yeah, let's.
We can show it on my screen.
It is absolutely adorable. It's got like this 16-bit Pokemon overworld.
I can't believe they made so much game.
It's so much game.
It's so much more game than I was expecting. I saw the title and I was like, oh, okay.
When you go into the battles, it becomes like a 3D tabletop simulator. You have to collect all of the different ducks. They all have different powers.
I'm so excited. Can you pull up Placid Plastic Duck Simulator for those who have not seen it? Because if you haven't seen that game, you might be confused why we're like, wow, this is so much game.
Yeah. Placid Plastic Duck Simulator was, honestly, it was my obsession for a very long time.
Oh, yeah. We got real into it for a minute.
Basically, all it is, and when I say all it is, I feel like I'm being reductive towards one of the greatest things of all time.
Yeah.
But what it basically is you have a pool, one of a few different pools.
Yeah.
And every 5 minutes,
here, I've got 10 hours of it. You can go to mine.
A new duck pops out in the pool.
Yeah. And that's it.
And you collect
them. You just leave it going.
And you can name them.
You can move your camera around.
And that's it.
And that's it. They just float into the pool.
I love it so much.
And you have like a little library of what ducks you've gotten so far. You can leave and come back to your computer and be like, oh my God, what new ducks did I get? You just leave the game running. And it's phenomenal for that. But that is literally all the game is. There's nothing else in the game.
But
and that's enough. But they made such a whole game.
It's such a whole game. This is, I mean, look. We don't deserve it. Honestly, we don't deserve it. To get a new Chibi Robo and this, we've done nothing. We've done nothing, and we don't deserve any of it.
I'm devastated that there's not currently a release date for it yet. There is a Steam page up that you can add it to your wish list, but they say date to be announced. So we'll see. This is Placid Plastic Duck: A Quiet Quest. It's really hard to say.
I love
and they did that on purpose.
Yeah, they did.
Placid Plastic Duck: A Quiet Quest. That's silly, and I like it.
They say, imagine if early Pokemon games and Inscription had a child who was 10 times less ambitious than his parents. and was prone to sarcastic remarks and had ducks. Great.
Sold. In. Thank goodness. Hey, everybody. Games are back.
Games are back.
Movies are back. Games are back.
Computers are down.
Computers are gone. Computers out. Games in. That's it.
Happy Easter, Xbox.
And that's all the show that we have time for. Thank you very much for spending your morning with us. We appreciate you being here. We do this show every Monday and Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific live on Twitch, or you can catch it on YouTube after on the Pixel Pop channel. That's youtube.com/@pixel_pop culture for right now.
Beep, bop,
because
beep.
they won't give me the URL I want. But if you search Pixel Pop, we are what comes up first.
That's right.
We appreciate everybody who has subscribed. If you're watching on YouTube right now, hi, I love you.
Hi.
Very nice. If you like the video, it really helps us out, especially because we have a new channel. Leave a comment. Let us know what job you would be doing in a kid city. That's still the most important thing I want to know. Forget everything else that we talked about. I don't care. Tell me what job you're doing in a kid city.
Happy
Okay?
Kid City, Xbox.
Happy Kid City, Xbox.
Thank you to everyone who has been watching on Twitch, who has supported us directly during the show. We're going to thank you in just a moment. But thank you also to everybody who has been sharing the show on social media, who's been sharing it with friends. Thanks to everybody who's part of the Discord. You know, the Discord, that's totally free, baby. That's free real estate. Go ahead and join. We have been looking at that Discord to find stories, to see things that you're interested in, and we appreciate you all sharing. It's also just a lovely place to hang out.
Yeah.
So go do that.
And today is Friday. So speaking of places to hang out, if you haven't gotten enough of us yet, patreon.com/Pixel Circus. For just $5 a month, you can get a bonus clip from It's Too Early every week.
That's right.
And we have some stuff to talk about. I actually think I have a story that we pulled from the Discord that we're going to talk about over there.
What?
You get a whole bonus things that we were going to talk about on the show, but we ran out of time for. Go over there. It's usually 5 minutes up to an hour, who knows,
Sometimes
of extra
2.5.
content every single week from It's Too Early. Next week, our schedule is going to be slightly different. We're impacted by Comic-Con a little bit. So we're doing Monday
We've been
and Wednesday.
economically impacted by Comic-Con.
You know?
There are too many exclusives.
Yeah, look out. Just take care of people that have been impacted by Comic-Con. So we're doing Monday, Wednesday next week instead of Monday, Friday, because I'm going to Comic-Con, baby. It'll be funky the week after that for Gen Con too, but we'll get to that later. Don't think about the future yet.
Don't think about the future ever.
Sign up for a free trial on Patreon. All right, Anthony, before we go through and we thank everybody who supported us here on Twitch,
Yes.
where can they find you on the internet?
Oh, my stars and garters. Thank you for asking. You can find me everywhere at Carboni, except for here on Twitch, where I'm at Anthony Carboni. Twitch, you cowards, it's mine. Give it back to me.
You can find me everywhere on the internet at Not Saige. I stream on my channel Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. And if someone you know or love has been economically impacted by Comic-Con and is going on Friday, you can come and see my panel. Or you're going to Gen Con, you can come and see me live on the Sunday of Gen Con, GMing a little D&D game.
Woo!
Hey, Alex.
Hello. You can find me on the internet at Alder_Mancy on Twitter or Alex Tablets on Instagram. I'm also going to be at SGCC at Gen Con, so you might see some of me there.
Woo! Good stuff.
SDCC,
right.
more like SDC me. Bleh. Bleh.
Got him.
Bleh.
All right.
What you do is you end with big energy.
Yeah. Yeah. You slowly shrivel into the side of the chair.
Hey, thanks everyone. I guess we'll see you
for
on
watching.
Patreon if you're
We
a
love
patron.
you.
Bye,
Bye.
BBs.